Hi, Vinusha ma'am. This is Varsha from DNA. How are you?
Yeah.
And it's pleasure to have you here. And thanks for taking out some time for the interview. So yeah, first I want to know how are you?
Varsha, I'm good. And thanks a lot for having me. And it's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for us also to meet a woman who wears a multiple hats, being as a BJP spokesperson for Andhra Pradesh, an author, a physician, and also represented the country globally. So, my first question to you is, Vanusha, is what inspired you to take up politics, like career in politics
Mm.
further?
Yeah. Varsha ji, that's a very interesting question. Most of the people ask me that because since I'm a doctor, you know that I'm a practicing general physician also. It's a
Yeah.
good profession. I want to tell you frankly that maybe by 2009 ending, I wanted to leave India. I'll tell you from my personal experience, it was so difficult for me. I was preparing for my postgraduate entrance examination, and in 2010, I was preparing for my Delhi AIMS examination. It was by ambition.
Mhm.
And, I've topped every exam, the state exam, the other PJ Chandigarh exam. But surprisingly, my name was not there in the even the list of the people who cleared the qualified the AIMS exam in 2010. And it turned out to be a scam. Can you imagine? I struggled so hard. But I topped other institutes. I got in other institutes. The top 10 ranks, they were shuffled and the OMR sheets, they were exchanged. I went to the administration, they told we can't do anything. And every day when you wake up in 2007, 2008, I think you remember there was every day one scam happening, 2G scam, 3G scam, even Commonwealth scam.
Mhm.
And in 2008, I was supposed to get a bank account because I was in my internship, I was getting my stipend. You don't know how it was difficult for me. In spite of me being a doctor and my father being a public servant, I was like totally disappointed with the system. I wanted to go to USA, but my family is politically aware. They were affiliated with the RSS and they were discussing about the politics. So I stayed back here. But by 2014, everything got changed, Varsha. I was in America in 2012 and I was seeing their advances. There was this system which, when you go through a toll for the highways, automatically it used to get cut. I was like, when will in India this system will come? But
Yeah,
now look at our
true, true.
India.
Mhm.
Fastrack has come, and we are the country which has introduced the phone pay first. And by 2000, from
Definitely.
2014 to 2019, I observed the BJP government. There was no scam. That was a big thing for Indians. There was no corruption at all. And then you see the development, what was done in just 5 years. I'm speaking about 2019. The highways, the airports, my place, Kurnool, many people were telling we'll get an airport, nothing happened, but we got an airport finally under Modi ji. And the UPI started happening. And I was speaking with my friends abroad that, oh, we are doing UPI transactions now on phone. And, naturally, I felt so happy. And I thought I can serve this country as a citizen also. And what inspired me most importantly was a common tea seller becoming prime minister. So I thought, okay, even a youngster like me, a doctor, a professional, can also contribute to the country. So I joined politics.
Oh, that's great.
If you see historically, the women in this country, I'm speaking about pre-independence, or if you go back to our history also, the women actually they commanded respect in our society. Do you know who was the lady who stopped Gori? It was Nike Devi. And Akbar, who fought ferociously, it was Rani Durgavati. And even if you come to South India, I don't know whether you must have heard about Rani Rudrama Devi. She used to manage a lot of battles and then she administered entire Orugallu kingdom. There are a lot of queens here. Rani Abbakka Chauta, Kittur Chennamma. And do you know who is the Indian who has first hoisted the Indian flag abroad, other than India? It is again Madam Kamaji. So what I mean to say is Indian women, even before the independence, as a culture, if you take our culture, we always commanded the respect, whether it is the queens or whether it is the educated people. We always were politically active, socially active, and culturally active. Right now, the representation of women in MPs and when you consider as member of parliament has increased to almost 15%. Historically, maximum percentage has reached under Narendra Modi ji government. But I want you to take a note here. A major reform came in 1992 to 1993 when a reservation came in panchayat systems, and because of that 1.4 million, that's nearly 14 lakh women have become sarpanches, and they exercise it, their right and duties as sarpanches in the grassroots levels, in the rural level. So, if you consider the women role in politics since independence, also, as we all know, many women have held important roles also. Like the first health minister was a woman, and then we had first woman prime minister also, when the other countries didn't even realize or think about giving important ministries. And after that, if you see the present administration also, under Modi ji in the first term, six women were holding cabinet ranks, and they were not like less important posts. Full time, we under Modi ji, we had full time first time external affairs minister Sushma Swaraj ji, and again full time first time defense minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji, and full time finance minister consecutively for 7 years again Nirmala Sitharaman ji. We have progressed a lot when since we got the independence, but yes, we still face some challenges that we have to accept. And one of the main important challenge which we are facing when it comes to the present situation is the cultural acceptance and the economical support. But as women, they are becoming more independent. One example I will give you. When I finished my MBBS, like, most of the women used to take gynecology, but I was the first woman in my batch to choose general medicine. But now, that was like maybe 12, 13 years back. But now, if you see the women opting for general medicine, it's almost like 30 to 40%. In the similar manner, in the coming time, we all know that women reservation bill has been passed in 2023. So if you take the present 14% and if we add that 33%, okay, the women representation in Indian politics will increase dramatically, and it will definitely cross 30%, and it may reach 40 to 50%. And it's going to be a script, a new history when it comes to women in politics in India.
So, Vinusha, I want to understand, like, since the representation will increase, as you have commented on that, like, what policies or initiatives would you like to see implemented so that to support women in politics, like more and more women, like, enter politics and represent India in even nationally and also internationally, just like you. So, tell us about that.
Yeah. See, Vaishali, Varsha, it is the responsibility of not just the government, it is also responsibility of the political parties to support the women in their respective political parties. I tell you frankly, when I joined BJP in 2019, I was a bit apprehensive, but I can tell you, from my heart, I can tell you that I never felt embarrassed in Bharatiya Janata Party. Varsha, it's not the same in other political parties.
Yeah.
In Bharatiya Janata Party, I never faced any sort of discrimination. But here, you are respected for what you are, for the kind of work you do. And maybe because you are a woman, they give you more respect. You know what they call? They use words like Amma. Amma means I'm from South India. You know that Amma means like most of the people they call Amma. Unless and until you are very junior, they address you by name. But that's the way, that the kind of respect you get in Bharatiya Janata Party. So me coming from an educated background, being a doctor, seeing, scores of patients every day, I was a bit apprehensive. But I tell you frankly, here in Bharatiya Janata Party, you get that respect. So it is the responsibility of every political party to make sure that the women in their political party get that respect. Just bringing the women and then displaying in front of the political rallies is not going to be beneficial. In some political parties, women don't get the respect what they ought to get. Leave about the safety. And sorry to say that, but in some political parties, even there is no safety for women, but not in Bharatiya Janata Party. We are 100% safe here. They take care of us when we suppose we have some meeting, they take care of everything, like how you are arriving, ma'am, is it okay? I attended a meeting in Delhi. From even before I started arriving, they were calling, how are you coming, ma'am? We have provided here accommodation. These are the minor things, maybe for men, but these are the things which will make difference for women, Varsha. See, a political, for a vibrant democracy, political parties should be vibrant also. So, if you want women to be in politics, you should provide them a congenial and safe atmosphere along with the respect also. And some political parties, they still objectify a woman. I'm sorry to say this, but latest I have seen a video which was played in Bihar. The way they were displaying the woman, have you seen that video, Varsha? They were putting a bullet to woman's head and they were telling, "Agar bhaiya aayega to utkar le jayega." That means if brother comes into power, I will keep a gun and I will take you out. What is the message you are sending? How can women, if you are displaying such videos in open, how do you expect women to join the political party? So it's the responsibility of political parties to give women a safe, congenial, and a dignified atmosphere. This is the most important thing, which is lacking in many political parties in India, but not in Bharatiya Janata Party. Here in Bharatiya Janata Party, the woman gets the respect and safety also. And apart from that, women should have economical independence and definitely a societal cultural support also. And when it comes to economic independence, women should utilize all the opportunities. The government is giving a lot of opportunities. This government has brought so many schemes for women. They should use those opportunities, and the women should try to be economically independent. And one more challenge which may be faced by women is, usually women or have to take care of the family more when compared to men. So if you want to see the woman going ahead in politics, it is also a responsibility of the family. For example, if you take care of me, I get a lot of family support when I go outside. My husband, my mother, my sister, they take care of the my kids and their responsibilities also. So it's about you standing for the other woman in the family, whether it is your daughter-in-law or whether it is your mother-in-law or sister. We women should support each other. That's what I feel, Varsha.
So yeah, my next question is like, कि, since you are from BJP and you're speaking of BJP, so what do you think? Like, we understand BJP treats women well. So how do you think, like, for other parties, what kind of initiatives and policies should other party should take from BJP or form to make difference in for women in politics?
See, the basic difference with BJP and the other political parties is, one thing is, Varsha, BJP is a political party which will respect any karyakarta, any person for what they are, based on the work they do and the dedication and the hard work they give. And one more important point, since you are asking about what is the difference, see,
Yeah.
I do not have any political lineage. But when it comes to women in politics, when you see the other political parties, just carefully observe, Varsha. Usually, the women they come from already established political families, but when it comes to BJP, most of the women, for example, if you take Sushma Swaraj ji, she came by herself. I mean, she didn't have a political lineage or she didn't from a political family. She has proven herself in different roles as a spokesperson. Then she contested the elections. Then she became the chief minister. And then she, as we all know, like she was a leader of opposition. And then she became the external affairs minister. And when you come to Nirmala Sitharamanji also, you know her journey. She again came from a non-political background, but she grew through ranks in the party and became the first full-time defense minister, first full-time finance minister. And one more example is Draupadi Murmuji. Really, she's so inspiring because she was the first tribal woman to become a president, but her journey doesn't end here, or it's not like bed of roses. She was working, she had a government job, she was a teacher, then she contested the MLA, then she became a minister in the Odisha government, then she became the Jharkhand governor. And playing the role of governor in a state like Jharkhand, it's not easy. Which she delivered it very efficiently. And then now she is the president. What is the difference you see, Varsha? In Bharatiya Janata Party, even women who come from non-political families also can work and can prove their efficiency and can achieve greater heights. But this is missing in other political parties. If you see the other political parties, most of the women, they are like, sorry to say this, they belong to some political family, daughter of some MLA or some minister or, wives, most of the times. This is the situation like that. But what happens in Bharatiya Janata Party is they respect the women. They never ill-treat the women who come from non-political backgrounds or non-political families also. And they divide the responsibilities based on the capabilities, based on the work they do, and based on the dedication. And I think probably Bharatiya Janata Party is, I can say with confidence, is one of the, or probably the one political party where women have safety. I told you just one example. When we were going for a meeting in Delhi, how they take care of everything. They call you even before start. Man, when is your flight coming? Okay, there is a counter. You can call us. We will pick you up. Here is your accommodation. And then they women, they are made to feel safe and secure, irrespective of their position, their background, and their careers, and they assign the duties also. It's like they identify the capabilities. Okay, they for example, this lady is well suitable for this profession, this role, and then this lady can do this role. You know Uma Bharti, how she also came from a non-political background and she became the five-man leader of BJP and went on to become the chief minister. And Nirmala Sitharamanji, who was a PhD graduate in economics from JNU, became the national spokesperson and now the finance minister. What I meant to say was, party is good at identifying what the role each woman can play, and they will groom accordingly and they will encourage accordingly. This is lacking in other political parties. They should identify their women and then they respect them, and then they should identify what they are good at. Just because a woman is a wife or a daughter or a sister of some other political scion, you can't go on giving them only, contesting the seats or roles or responsibilities. Please go to grassroots, identify the women, and then encourage them, and then provide a safe environment. Give them the respect. This is lacking in other political parties.
Absolutely, Vinusha. So, it's very lovely to see you on global platform. You have represented India on international platforms like IVLP. So, how was the experience, and what views did shape your, views on women's empowerment globally and in India? Like you have been, how was the journey?
Yeah. Varsha, it was really, amazing because I had the opportunity to, travel with other 22 women from other countries, who have achieved significantly in their fields, mainly political and social aspects. And when you know them for 3 weeks, you understand their countries and the way the nations are progressing and the way the women are being treated. And it's not just like one nation, but you got to know people across the globe.
Yeah.
Like I had interacted with the women who have achieved significant success in their fields from Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, like East Asia. And then if you go to Middle East, I interacted with women from Iraq, Palestine, and then if you come to Africa, South Africa, and Congo. If you go to Central America, Argentina, and then Chile, and then Belize, and if you go to Europe, from Germany, and then Poland, and so it's like we came from across the globe, and we for 3 weeks we traveled together, and we interacted with the people across US, and also we interacted with the governments of US, senators, and also congressmen, congresswomen, mayors of the US government. We interacted with the people who are experts in the federal government who are implementing the constitution, and we also had the chance to interact with the NGOs, social organizations who are empowering women and protecting women. So it's definitely a different experience from the perspective of an Indian, to see what the women are facing in other nations.
Yeah.
See, we sit here and we discuss about what is happening in Gaza,
Yeah.
but I had the chance to be with my colleague from Palestine for almost 3 weeks. So I have the first-hand information of what is going on there and what is from the aspect of the woman, condition of women in
Yeah.
Palestine.
Very
Same, I know
disheartening.
about Poland, Ukraine. Yes.
So, what do you think? What are their challenges, and as compared to our women in politics, and then in globally, you see women around. Like, what do you think? Like, what is the common challenge, and how they are growing? Like, how they are looking, making their road ahead in politics? Like, please share.
Yeah, Varsha. I mean, I was really a bit surprised, rather shocked when I went to US. Okay, the first thing by which I was surprised and shocked was when we met the NGOs and social organizations. I think you don't believe, most of them, they were working, to protect women against domestic violence. I mean, I really didn't expect this, but then there were robust mechanisms, many NGOs which were working against domestic violence, and we really had time to interact with those people who are also victims and sufferers of domestic violence. There are it's rampant there in US,
Yeah.
but this mechanism is also very robust. If a woman faces domestic violence, she can contact them, the NGOs, the police, and the welfare organizations. They work together, and then they take care of the woman. And after taking care of them, they also think about the rehabilitation also. But what surprised me was, when we are in India, we think that domestic violence we see only in India or Asian countries. But America, in spite of being,
Developed
the
nation.
world's largest
Yeah.
economy and so developed, the women facing domestic violence, I thought, okay, this is an issue which has nothing to do with education or economy. Maybe it's rampant even there also. And that one issue which I was very much surprised, because everywhere you go, every meeting, and any city, I went to 5 cities, at least one or two meetings is about the domestic violence, how to curtail it, and the NGO was working on it. And the second issue, which I was very surprised, was about the abortion issue, Varsha. I
Mm.
mean, it's an issue which is dividing the people in America, but you won't believe. I went to this state, Utah, Salt Lake City. There the woman can't get themselves abortion, even if the woman, suppose in 10 weeks or 12 weeks, if she had developed some medical problems, the laws there are so
Yeah,
stringent. And
strict.
I met this NGO called as WREN, WREN. You know what they do? They support the woman. They provide journey and then arrangements to travel them from this Utah state to another state where the abortion can be done. It's really unbelievable in India. And in India, when I was traveling to US, our Supreme Court told that if the mother's health is not suitable, or if the mother is a victim, the doctors can go ahead and do abortion in till 28 weeks also. And medically, the US is so advanced, but the women there have to travel from one state to another state in a pathetic situation or in a harmful situation to get abortion. And this is an issue. I was shocked to see, literally, when the people who are working in the REN told that we are arranging travel for so many people to take them to other state to get abortion. I mean, the women rights, or really, I mean, you can know now the condition of the women rights in America. And the third point is, Varsha, America, they declared independence in late 17th century, 1775 to that time. And when the women got the right to vote, they had to battle for their right to vote, and they got in the late 1980s to 20s. And one more surprising feature was only white women got right to vote by 1920s. The black women got the right to vote in 1960s.
1960s, yeah.
Yeah, India became independent in 1947. All the citizens of India had the right to vote. So technically, in US, the real democracy, when did it start? Or after 1960s, when the black woman got the right to vote. So when people tell, or when people go to US and say, you are like a mother of democracy and you have to preserve the democracy in India, I was like, oh my God. After getting independence, 200 years, they didn't provide the black woman the right to vote. This is the harsh reality. And there is this a law called as gender parity law, like where all the people, irrespective of gender, are treated equally. Do you know the fact that it is not yet ratified yet? I mean, it's not a law yet. It has not been passed in the both houses. Surprising, right? But this is the fact. So this is the situation of United States of America. Despite getting independence for almost over 240 years, they don't have a woman president yet. And after 235 years of independence, first woman presidential candidate was Hillary Clinton in 2016. Can you imagine? For 236 years and odd, they didn't find a woman to be even a presidential candidate. And then, the first woman vice president was Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And we know it happened in 2020, like almost 240 years after the independence. And when it comes to the role of the woman in politics in USA, I just mentioned you the facts. US has a lot of journey to make when it comes to representation of women in US politics. If we take the start of the journey of the democracy, the women representation was almost zero. But since 2000 year, the representation has been increasing a bit by bit, and now I think it has crossed more or less 20%. But important portfolios, like we call it external affairs here, they call it as a State Department, or when it comes to finance, such portfolios, or still, except Hillary Clinton, most of the women, they don't handle such major portfolios yet. So There is a long road ahead for US when it comes to the role of women in politics. And I am waiting. When will they get first vice president, woman president in USA? But I have to tell, I have to praise Africa here. You know, Africa, the country when it comes to the representation of women, it's much better, far better. You know, they have a law that 40% of the
Yeah, for
representation in politics should be women. And so I had interacted with the mayor from South Africa, and she told, and this is not my first time interaction with South Africa. I went to the BRICS political summit also in
yeah, yeah.
2023, and I attended the ANC meeting. You don't believe 40 to 50% of all the political posts, either in the political party posts or in the administration or the government, they are filled by women. So African countries are definitely way beyond us, but we will also progress soon. I believe, I have that belief in that, Parsham. And when it comes to countries like Japan, there is still a lot of hierarchy, and the political system is in the hands of the few dynas. And I was interacting with my friend Mika from there, and she was telling we didn't have a woman prime minister. And even before Japan got the new prime minister,
Yeah.
she texted us like, Takashi may become the new prime minister, and she sent us the photo. So this is the first time even Japan got the women prime minister. We have to remember that. And when it comes to Middle Eastern countries or other Asian countries, and I don't know how the women are facing the situation there. Really, Varsha, you're speaking about the women in politics there, but in countries like Lebanon, Palestine, or Iraq, I met with this woman from Iraq. You know, there the women have to struggle for their fundamental rights, the right to education, the right to even property, all those things. They have to fight for them, and even the way they have to dress, how they can go. Even countries like that, Jordan, women don't have basic rights. Now, I don't know how can you expect those women to have equal representation in politics.
Politics.
And when it comes to Europe, yes, Europe is like more or less like America and India, somewhere midway between that. But still, they have to, the women representation there also has to increase a bit. But I'm pretty sure, Varsha, in 2029, we are going to see minimum, I think, 35 to 40% of women in parliament and in legislative assemblies. And it's going to be a game changer for not only Indian politics. India is going to be the torchbearer now, after 2029, to show the role of the woman in politics for the world.